All right, what is up, guys? It is episode 54 of the Master of One podcast titled What Are We Doing Here? Normally, I title it just the tournament name, but I think it's been a sec, about 3 weeks since the last one. There's been a lot, and there's definitely been a big theme. What are we doing here? So, I will just go ahead and get into it and start with WCC3. So, this tournament took place a week ago, 3/29. Man, my dates have been really bad. Not like I've just been off by a day or something. Yeah, 3/29. I got it right. Okay, so 3/29. Attendance was we had 60 players, which is pretty good. Um, and before I get into the winners, the reason why 60 players is pretty good, because it is a tiny bit below the average, is this is my first time going against, um, I would say major competition. Like there was a big tournament in Charlotte the same weekend. Um, and personally, I was like, I don't want to drive for 5 rounds and do all that. And I was really curious, like how many people in Georgia would choose the Charlotte tournament over the other one. What helped in this case was there was a Georgia Tech tournament on Sunday. So if people stayed in Georgia, they would get 4 rounds on Saturday with WCC3, and then 4 rounds on Sunday with Georgia Tech. And if you can get 8 games and you don't have to travel, book a hotel, pay entry, all that kind of stuff, like pretty much you're saving money in that case, and you're getting good chess too. So um, it wasn't affected that much. That being said, we definitely do want to avoid competition for the most part. But yeah, overall, I think it passed the test, and we'll keep moving from there. So the winner of WCC3 was Andrew Jiang. He went 4-4. A tragic game against my student the last round. And I kind of take some responsibility for it because basically Andrew, if he draws the last round, he already wins the tournament. So I was like, all right, I guess you can just draw, go home, gain rating. He still gained rating from the tournament, but I think in his head he was like, okay, man, I got this easy draw in the bag. I'm gonna draw Andrew. Everything's gonna be good. I'm gonna go hero. I'm probably win some money too. But the problem was he played the opening so bad that even Andrew had to say that, why would I take a draw here? I can only win. And I haven't looked over the game yet, but yeah, like that's something that I know the opening, it was so bad. Like he could have gotten a great position. You know, it's very ironic. He got the same opening and position that I got my last round of Texas against an international master that is also Asian, just coincidental. And I basically played it right, got a better position. My opponent offered a draw, boom, right off into the sunset. He didn't play it good. And this has been something that he's done multiple times. I don't want to harp on it too much during the awards, but yeah, a big theme from this tournament is flying too close to the sun and getting burnt. Just something that you do not want to do. All right, so anyway, second place was Kagan Uz and Damian Krotov. Both of them went 3 out of 4. Damian actually went 3 out of 3 and then withdrew the last round. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Definitely, like, come on, you're 3 out of 3 and you're not gonna play the last round. That's pretty insane. The kids these days, they build different. And as a bonus, he doesn't know my name. He calls me Aaron every time, which is also like, bro, we've played like 4 or 5 times now. Like, how do you not know my name? But all right, anyway, 3 out of 4. Under 1800 was won by Carlos Bellamy. 4 out of 4, perfect score. Second place was a tie between Remick, Nitya, and Siddharth Basa. Um, Funny story is Remick beat 3 of my students and then lost to the only non-student that he played. Now I didn't really want Remick to play my students, but I also don't want my students to play each other. Something also very funny is every one of my students had a winning position against Remick and just they couldn't push through. They couldn't find the knockout. They gave counterplay, and then boom, next thing you know, you're worse. But we'll once again get that in the student section. And then under 1400 was won by Owen Giguere. It's his second time winning, I think in a row too. So he's definitely going to be in the higher section from now on. Like how many times? It's a very interesting question. Like how many times can someone play in a section? Like let's say like for example Remick. Remick's won the section, I mean, I think at least twice. And then every time he always finds a way to get below 1800. Um at what point am I like, no, you have to play the up? I don't like it's a very interesting question that there's not really a clear answer to, at least like officially, which is I don't know. That's something that I'm gonna have to address At least not today, but I'm gonna say at some point and probably pretty soon. Like if you keep winning a section, like how many times can you play it? Um, and then second place was a huge tie between Advik, Corey, Espinoza, Sunny, one, two, three, four, and Damian. I think Damian too. So that's a five-way tie. Senior prize is won by Remick. He's definitely enjoying his prize. And then the performance bonus. Both these bonus. The first bonus goes out to Carlos Bellamy. He won first place. So generally, I don't give out performance bonuses to someone who already won money. But on top, like last tournament, I think he went 0 for 3 or 0 for 4. Like he had a terrible tournament and he locked in. He actually hired Ethan as a coach, so there is some value there. Whoever's like trying to get better, like Ethan as a coach. I mean, clearly something went right. Um, and he went 4 out of 4. He actually beat one of my students in a very interesting, complicated game, where I thought actually my student had at least drawing chances, but what it wasn't meant to be. So he gets a performance bonus, and then also the second performance bonus goes to Vibu Mangipudi. I don't even know how to say it. But he ended up gaining about 120 points. He went 2.5 out of 4, I believe, and he played Remick last round. Crazy is if he beats Remick last round, like okay, now he's 1500. Like that's how crazy like one game matters. And he had a winning position. He had a completely winning, not complete, yeah, his like completely winning position. He could have just won a piece, but once again, the guy's like the precision is a little bit off, is what they need. But anyway, he faced his fears. He actually won a very important game that he was nervous for to get 1400. And he got his purple belt. Every time you cross 14, or whenever, not every time, whenever you cross 1400, he's actually going to start officially learning the Sicilian. And I'm pretty sure he's excited about the path that he's been on. One last side note on Vibu is about a year and a half ago he was about to quit, and they have a friend of one of my students, their dad talked to his dad and said, okay, try to work with him, and he basically in a year and a half he went from about 500 to 1450, so almost 1,000 points in a year and a half, which is like really impressive, especially when you're about to give up, about to say like, all right, I'm not playing chess anymore. Um, so that's really cool. There was one more side note. Oh yeah, his dad was like, should we wait a couple of weeks so that his floor is okay at 1200? And I'm like, but I mean, at the rate he's going, we're not gonna have to worry about a floor for 20, 30 to 40 years. So nothing to worry there. Now one really interesting point that I had a conversation with Vibu is I told Vibu sometimes it's okay to draw. Like if you're worse, if your time pressure is complicated, the biggest goal is to not lose. And he was like, but every time I do that, and I was like, I know what you're about to say. Your dad's gonna be like, why didn't you win faster? Why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you win? And he was like, whoa, how did you do that? How did you know exactly what happens every time? And I was like, buddy, Indian uncles, they don't change. They're the same. As me, as an actual chess player, like I understand the struggle of having to win. I understand the struggle of sitting there and being like, well, now I'm losing. So, and then actually first round, he was worse against a 1500 too. So it's like a draw is good. He's playing up. Um, he's worse, and his opponent offers a draw. He offers a draw, and he thinks about it for a bit, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna take this draw. And I was like, I'm pretty sure you were worse in that position. Like taking a draw there is amazing. And he was like, are you sure? I don't know. And then we looked at the game over the uh over the weekend, and he was worse. It was -2, and a draw with it was an amazing result. So he basically learned. God rewarded him, and now he's 1400. And he was like, should I play this week or should I play next week? And I was like, do you really want to play or do you want to take a week off? And he's like, I want to take a week off. And I was like, all right, buddy, you've earned it. At the rate you're going, you can take 1 week off. No need to rush it. He also is like 1450, so he has some room to spare as well. Like he doesn't have to worry about if I lose one game, boom, it's over. So yeah, so congratulations to Carlos and Vibu. They both get free entry to the next tournament. Um, yeah, actually, I'm going to switch to the order. Let's talk about the schedule, and then I'll talk about the pros and cons. So the May schedule, I'm looking at early to mid-May for WCC4. Oh man, and then originally WCC5 was scheduled for, I would say, mid-June, but after a conversation today, I'm looking at running a huge FIDE international tournament. So instead of WCC 6 or WCC 05, actually that would be perfect. The fifth one can be the norm tournament. So we've already kind of got the works going. Venue, not 100% sure, but we're looking at a FIDE a 5-day 9-round tournament in Georgia in June, which would be pretty sick. And then also two scholastics. I'm really trying to get in the scholastic market. The first one is 5/17 of, well, I guess 5/17, so May 17th. And marketing is going to start next, or I guess this Monday, 4/3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4/7 will be when the marketing starts for that one. So yeah, I'm trying to lock down the date for WCC4. But then the focus will be the two scholastics as well as the international. And then probably after that, July off, probably August off, and then return in September. September, October, November, December. There'll probably be somewhere between 4 to 6 tournaments between scholastics and WCCs. Maybe, yeah, maybe end of the year we'll do another big norm one. That could be twice a year, or maybe just once a year for now is probably what I'm thinking. But first we got to do one international before we get to the twice a year kind of category. But it's really cool. It does seem like it's starting to get there, which is something that I know I've talked about for a while. I've been planning for a while. One thing I've definitely learned with getting better at this and doing more tournaments is there's no rush. It's all about the long term. Once you set up the good relationship, it's a lot easier to move from there, as opposed to if you rush and then you got to explain yourself and then it doesn't go so well. A lot of times it's just over after that. So I'm trying to get the right timing down. I'm definitely working on it. But it really seems like it's pretty close to fruition from what I'm seeing right now. So that's the schedule. Now I want to get into the pros and cons. So I'll start with the pros. Once again, tournament went really smooth. No issues, no fights, no nothing. Set up the night before makes everything possible. One funny part, this is a con, but it's a very small one, is no matter what happens, how you set up, you'll get there 8:39, you have plenty of time, and then next thing you know, it's 5 minutes before, and I didn't print out the announcements. I don't know, it's the same announcements every time. So this is, I mean, I'm gonna go really micro here on the improvements, but I'm gonna just type out the announcements the day before, print them out, and they're always the same. It's time control, bathrooms, spin sponsor. So round one is generally like all the tournament details. Round two is the lunch details. Round three and four, we talk about what happens next. So that's what I'm gonna do for announcements. Another pro is Biryani. Biryani is an interesting one. So Biryani, I mean, it's really, of course, cool having Biryani at tournaments, especially as someone who enjoys Biryani a lot. Like, that's something that I personally am pretty excited about. But the tough part is the margins are not super, super like. It's like I'm not really making money. I'm doing a lot of work for free biryani. Is what it seems like. Basically, profits about $3 to $4 per plate. If you sell 10, okay, 30, $40. It's like, and then okay, if I don't sell one, or if end up eating two, or someone gets one on the house, I'm officially down money. So it's a lot of work for something that's nice. Don't get me wrong, it's great, but I have to figure out the margins and if it's gonna be worth it. Um, and then poker was pretty cool. I think maybe one or two people stayed, and this is gonna actually flow into Blitz. Like I'm really starting to think, is it worth doing the Blitz tournament? Blitz is basically like Biryani. Like I ended up tying for first, and it's free entry. I'm just giving away money. Why do I have to give away money? I mean, I'd be down to start poker earlier. Probably still have more friends right now. You know, that's actually really interesting. If there was no Blitz, like that Saturday night would have might have gone very, very differently. Because the Blitz, I mean, it, I'm not gonna say it drags, but, and this is also something that I have to definitely work on, is once the tournament is over or once the tournament is ending, I need to start cleanup. I'd be procrastinating, or not procrastinating, just be like, I'll clean up after, and then last minute, like I have a bunch of things that I have to do. So this is a huge thing, and this is something that I think like me and the venue are gonna work out. Basically, a to-do list of things to finish before the tournament is over, and as soon as round four starts and people start finishing, boom, clean. And I don't know, I used to do this a lot more. Actually, I didn't. I would do it sometimes in the past, but also there was always the question of blitz, and then the efficiency would kind of drop. So really, really big thing, whatever happens, if there's Blitz tournament or not, is to start that cleaning proactively real fast. Um, and yeah, I mean, if I'm not making money on Blitz, why am I doing Blitz? Like the rate, like, it costs money to rate, costs money to lose the money because I can't win every prize. This time I end up getting first place, but like if Ethan wins, I'm just chalking up more money, and it's like why? So the Blitz, I'm gonna have to really, really think about. Um, the thing is, if I charge money and then pay out some I mean, honestly, that's probably the move. Charge $20 and have really small prices, and then pay them out immediately, and then just go boom. And then also, the way to make Blitz, I think, a win-win is while Blitz is going on, already start the cleanup and almost like finish the cleanup is the way to think about it. Like by the end of the Blitz tournament, everything should be cleaned up perfectly, and we should be ready to go. So, I mean, that's just something I think being very proactive is important, but it's going to be a huge focus for the next one. Now let me go on. Okay, and then poker. I mean, poker for me was really good. I'm not gonna go too into details, but apparently I'm pretty good. Okay, this is the funny part. The only reason I did good in poker is because I was in such a rush to leave. I was like, I want to get out of here. I got stuff to do, people to see. Um, and for that reason, I went in. I think I went in all in 4 times or something, and I won every single one. And it's like really annoying that like when you want something to happen, it it like will it won't it when you okay when you need it, it won't happen. When you don't care, when you're like I don't want this at all, then it will happen. It's a very ulta kind of opposite kind of thing if you think about it. Um, but okay, so poker overall is at least for the city venue, those guys already like it. They already have people go there. I'll just advertise it, and honestly, we're gonna start, I think, earlier. It really hinges on what happens in Blitz and if I can make money in Blitz or not. So that'll be something that will it will be clear by the next tournament, and I'll have to make a decision. Right now, I would say I'm leaning towards not having it, unless I charge and it makes sense with the cleanup. That would be the conditions for me to keep the Blitz tournament. All right, so now cons. So withdrawals and forfeits. There were at least 2 or 3 people who signed up, and they just said, "I forgot. I'm sick." Blah blah blah. So this is my idea to address withdrawals. Um, I'm going to try to make everyone who signs up for the tournament agree that if you forfeit or you withdraw, so first let me just say, if you forfeit and you sign up, you no show, you have 2 options. That game is rated and you lose the rating, or you pay the person whose time you wasted. So if someone like signs up and their opponent doesn't show up and they didn't have a reason, their entry fee or their rating is gonna go to that player. So that way, if someone opponent doesn't show up, like they don't feel as bad as just like I sat there, I got nothing. If they get rating, then it's a win-win. I'm sure they're super happy, and if at least they get half their entry fee, or they get $20, it's like all right, fine. At least I got something for it instead of just nothing happening and just being a waste of time. So that's the first one. The next one is I'm going to have a separate form or place for withdrawals. Because a lot of people will be telling me, okay, I'm withdrawing or this. I'm going to point everyone to a withdrawal sheet, and it's going to be available online and it's going to be available in person. So that, and then maybe even a separate buy sheet. I think I missed one person who took a buy. One buy and one withdrawal. I think each is the head count. But to have a separate place, and basically I would just check this before every round. And okay, if they don't sign it up, if they don't fill out the withdrawal or forfeit, then you pay the price of the rating or the money. And it's up to them, whichever one they want to do. Um, but yeah, that's gonna be my plan moving forward for withdrawals and forfeits and refunds. Oh my God, refunds too. Especially when I haven't had a tournament in like 2 months, 3 months. Like, how am I supposed to remember the refunds from 3 months ago? It's a like okay, like I trust people, and for the most part, I don't think anyone's lying. But if someone was just like, hey, yeah, you said that I get free entry next time, I really have no way to, especially if it was 2 months ago or 3 months ago, or like let's say it was last year. Like, what am I supposed to do? Go find whatever, blah blah blah. go look. No, I'm pretty much it's like $40. I have to eat it. That's the way that it kind of pans out. So I'm 100% gonna try to have a refund page or like if you need a if you request a week refund, fill this out. That way everything is written down and documented. And of course, that seemed like some common sense, but I guess it's not. I mean, no other tournament does it. They don't have a separate withdrawal place. They don't have a separate refund place. So they also have a team of like 6 people. So I'm sure they have a guy that does it. But yeah, I think having a separate page is gonna make a lot of sense. Put it on the website, put it at the tournament, make announcements of it. That's gonna be, I think, a great solution that has not been tried before. So that's the schedule. That's all the tournament stuff. So I know it's kind of a lot, but that's gonna be the first section of the podcast. Next, I'm gonna go on to my chess. And yeah, I have a lot of stuff. Streaming, not playing for a sec, and then we'll keep moving from there. Okay, so before I go into the chess section, there was one small thing that I forgot that I thought was kind of funny. A lot of Indian uncles at the tournaments, and they're really serious about running chess tournaments. Like two of them were like, I want to watch what you're doing. I got my blah blah blah. I want to run tournaments as well. Can you help me? And I'm like, I mean, this is like one guy was like, I'm gonna run tournaments every Saturday. And I'm like, well, you realize that's competition. Like, unless you're gonna help me in some way, like, why would I help you? But yeah, it was just really like, I guess I'm glad I'm inspiring people to do stuff. And I really be showing everyone how to use the software. I'll be answering every question. So I really being as, I mean, as good as possible for Georgia chess as one can imagine is kind of what I feel like I'm doing. But by inspiring the competition, I don't know if this is exactly like what I'm going for. There's like a really funny a scene from the second Batman where he's like he's stopping this big heist or whatever, and then a bunch of fake Batmans come out, and Alfred's like, some more fake Batmans today. And Batman's like, yeah, I don't know what to do. And he's like, well, maybe you take the night off and you let them work. And he's like, that's not exactly what I had in mind. And that's kind of what I feel about with all these, having all these guys do tournaments. It's like, it's not exactly what I had in mind. Inspiring the dads of all the chess players to do this as well. And one of them was talking about getting a bank loan and everything. Like, I'm like, what? A bank loan? What, for what? I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll see. All I know is it's not as easy as it looks. It took me, I mean, basically this tournament, probably my 50th or something like tournament that I've run. And just like chess lessons, just like students, like I can help cut the learning curve because I've done it so long and I've done a lot of mistakes as well. But I guess the biggest thing is I will say is it's not just like, okay, you run a tournament and that's it. Like there are definitely steps and levels and good luck. That's all I can say. So anyway, for chess, so I have started streaming since the last. I don't know what really triggered it. I've been saying I was gonna do it for a long time. But then all of a sudden I was like, all right, I'm gonna stick to it, and it's very interesting. A lot of interesting small little details. So let me start with if you want to stream, I would definitely recommend getting a set schedule. Like for me, it's Monday, Wednesday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Now some people are like 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Why are you doing it so late? People have asked me this, and it's because I teach a lot of kids. I'm not exactly trying to stream to to have a bunch of 5-year-olds on watching. That's not exactly, well, not 5-year-olds, but like, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 12-year-olds maybe. Like I was trying to get a more adult audience, and I mean, I be having fun on stream. Like don't get me wrong, like I'm definitely having a lot of fun on stream. But that's why the timing. Now the next thing that I've kind of been doing is clipping up. So I'll download the stream the next day, and I'll basically watch and try to come up with highlights or opening compilations. So when I say opening compilations, the idea is, let's say I play 3 hours of chess, and I have 4 or 5 really nice Stonewall games that I think some of my students can watch and learn from. I will cut those games. I will put them in one big video, and basically, once I have an hour of games, that's when I'll drop them so my students can watch and kind of have an idea of what to do in certain positions or like when they get a similar type opening. So clipping for that, clipping for highlights. Now, something that I've done, okay, something I'm gonna go really into details here, so please bear with me. But the first, when you start anything new, you'll get a bunch of just people like, oh my God, you're doing something cool. That's amazing. That's so cool. Like, how can I help? How can I support? And then at some point, that initial wave will wear off. There's like it's not exactly a perfect um, metaphor or comparison, but there's a song that says at some point good intentions run out. So like at some point, like when you after you get all the it's cool and everything, like you're gonna be there for a couple days where nobody's watching or nothing's going on. Um, so I've seen that, and right now I'm just trying to power through. I have a big event in New York, May 20th, or sorry, April 20th. So until then, this is the schedule, and I'm just gonna be there. Because I think at some point you're gonna get a dip up after you have a couple. I mean, it's not even like the days are too dead. Because I have this overall goal of streaming where I want to get these clips and create content for my students, like irrespective if people are watching while I stream. So I'm basically just playing chess 3 hours or 6 hours a week, Monday and Wednesday, on top of everything else I do. Um, but I think if you stick to the consistent schedule, it's funny. Like, so I have this girl that I always talk to on stream, which is super cool, very interesting. And it also definitely makes streaming easier when you have like a cute girl that you can talk to the whole time. So talking to her, and like even she tried to suggest, and people, oh my God, people when you're streaming will just say stupid things. People will just be like, they'll tell you things that are super, of course, like this is incorrect, this is wrong, this is not actually makes sense. But they'll say stuff just to see if you follow it or not. And basically, one person was like, I think you switched times, this is too late. And then 2 hours later, they leave, and then 2 hours later, they're like, oh, I can't sleep. What's up? And I'm like, I mean, what do you mean? What's up? You just told me it's too late, and now you're here 2 hours later. I'm just gonna stick to what I have right now. After the event, then we'll reassess. But I think there's gonna be a dip after the initial success, and then there's gonna be a dip back up, and when people start seeing that you're doing something. And I think this is also very, very important. There needs to be some kind of level of growth, some level of, okay, this is the direction that we're going. So actually, I was listening to a lecture today about CEOs and like yes, like the people or like your business, they will really follow the energy that you have. If you're sad, you're depressed, everything's getting worse, you're gonna lose people real fast. But if everything's growing, you like people are seeing growth, people are seeing like people want to be part of that. Everyone wants, I mean, it's kind of sad, but everyone loves winners. And I've been in chess at this point, I've been on both sides. Like winning is like a drug. It's like there's drugs and there's winning, and winning can be more of a drug than anything else. Um, so this is definitely something that is very important. And I think when I'm streaming, like there has to be some kind of goal. There has to be some kind of, okay, we're seeing improvement here. We're seeing them do more things. Like I just became an affiliate this Monday. So that's already kind of growth. And every time I post it on Instagram, it's oh my God, this is so cool. Like you're getting better. Now one very interesting thing about posting is if you just post videos, I don't know what it is, but at least for me, I don't get as many likes. But if I post a picture and attach a video to it, then it bumps up 2 to 5x of views and likes. Um, and I try to do it every Monday and Wednesday before the stream. That way people are kind of involved. Now, one thing that I've done the last 2 or 3 weeks is all the clips have been like only highlights of how great I am, or just like really cool. I mean, once again, just like very nice highlights. I think what's going to be very important is to show the bad highlights too, to show me just losing, blundering, because like right now it feels like this facade of like, oh, I'm this perfect person, like I win every game, like I'm the best, I'm so cool, and people like that a little bit, but like people only really like that if you're doing it at high level events. Like if I'm just posting clips of me beating 1800s or 1900s, like that's stupid. And I don't even think none of the clips are really people that low. If I'm knocking out like GMs, then people will love it. So right now I'm just playing people 25, 2600 online, or maybe 24. So I need to show both sides. I think is very important, and that's something that I've kind of really thought about. Of what is the best way? I want to do one good, one bad, and then probably try to mix it up. And then here's another thing: when you post this stuff, especially me now on the come up, like I need to post on TikTok. Uh, okay, I need to post on TikTok. I need to post on YouTube. I need to post on a bunch of stuff. So I've been for the first 2 weeks, I only posted on Instagram. Now I'm starting to hit YouTube, TikTok, and uh Instagram as well. So we're gonna see how that goes. Okay, so yeah, I got some weird text. And that's gonna really get to the point of what are we doing here at some point for sure. Um, okay, so that's streaming. So streaming, super cool. It's been pretty fun. Definitely a huge boost in the bit in the middle. And now it's just like me talking. It's really funny because I be like clipping up these videos and I be having like heart to hearts with this girl. So I'm like playing chess, trying to like show everything, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, what do you think about humans and blah blah blah, or like men are the worst, girls are the worst. Like I don't know what to do. So it's just kind of funny. And I I really wonder like when I'm posting these videos, or people are like, yo, what is this guy talking about while he's playing chess? So that's just an interesting thing to do. Once again, it's baby phases, beginning of a lot something. So I'm just kind of excited to see where it goes. And worst case, and this is a big reason why I'm streaming. Worst case scenario, I'm just playing chess for 6 hours a week, and if I lose, it hurts. Like I'm losing with people watching, where people can always see me lose. So I'm gonna actually study and try to get better because I don't want to just lose on stream or in front of people. So it's definitely a very good motivating thing as long as I make it that and not just like an ego thing. So streaming, clipping. Okay, actually, one more thing I want to talk about streaming, and this is something that I've just been doing with chess. And I got this from my friend who's basically a blue but almost purple belt at jujitsu. We were talking about like how to improve, right? Like jujitsu, especially in the early phases, can be really tough because you're just getting smashed again and again, getting my ass whooped. Like it's like, what am I doing here, man? Like, is this even fun? Like, why do I want to do this? And he was like, don't and like originally like what everyone kind of does is they're like okay I was against this black belt this time I got tapped 8 times. Next time I'm with him I'm only gonna try to get tapped 7 times, like that's the goal. And he was like, no, that's what everyone does. That is not the way to do it. The way to do it is every time you train, every time you practice, focus on one or maybe two things. Like an example for jiu-jitsu is like I want to work on grips. Like when I'm rolling I want to make sure that I can control grips, and if I lose, I lose. If I win, okay, I controlled grips. But my happiness is basically only dependent on the fact that can I control grips, and then whatever happens else is a bonus. So when I've been streaming, especially this last stream, which I mean didn't go great, so you got work to do. But the big thing that I try to focus on was like, all right, play simple, don't lose on time. Simple moves, play fast. Simple moves, play fast. And I keep telling myself that again and again. And that's basically what I've been working on this week for streaming. Simple moves, play fast. That's it. So when you're playing, especially online, especially on games that, okay, rating doesn't matter, of course, it's whatever. Try to pick something that you can really tangibly work on and improve at. And that's going to be what's important, is the best way I would say it. So that's basically what I'm going to do to wrap up streaming. Scheduling is the same. Clipping up is good. Um, Growing at some point is going to be a bit more important. Um, But right now it's already been a lot. I got an affiliate in a couple of weeks. Um, got a good amount, at least a couple regular viewers. And also another thing, last thing I'm gonna say about streaming is there are a lot of annoying people who just say, like I said, stupid stuff. And wow. And sometimes I will just tell them off. I will be like, I mean, bro, you're not making sense. Like, please just go away. And that's something that you have to do. And this is another like foreshadowing to the term, what are we doing here? Okay, so another classic. My mic is very sensitive. If I tap it at top like this, then it'll go off. And I always do it with my chin while I'm thinking. So anyway, yeah, sometimes you gotta tell people off on stream. I mean, sometimes you just gotta stand your ground. I mean, this happens at chess tournaments. This happens in life. This happens with girls. It happens with guys. It happens with everything. You gotta know your limit, know what you stand for, and when people cross, I mean, I'll just tell them. It's not even like I'm trying to be mean or I'm mad about it. I'm like, hey man, these are the rules. If every time you're being negative, if every question you ask is annoying, like what are we doing here? Okay, but once again, foreshadowing towards what are we doing here. So now the second thing for chess is now my openings are set. Now it's really about opening review. And I've been churning out problem sets left and right. And okay, so I had two real trains of thought here about what I should do next. So should I play multiple openings, have a diverse repertoire, and play a bunch of stuff? Or should I just commit to what I like, what I love, the openings that I'm really, really excited about, and just play those. And at least my initial thought is I'm going to just get really, really good at what I want to get good at. Like I'm not gonna try to play a bunch of stuff. I might have some options here and there. And I'm also like I'm good enough at chess where like not to brag or anything, but like any opening for the most part, especially if I played it in the past, like I'm gonna play it to like X amount of bad, like there's only so bad that I can be as long as it's something that I played. Like if I just played the Caricon tomorrow against a GM, I mean I could just lose in 5 moves. Like, but if I just play E5, apply French, like I don't have to play Sicilian every game, but I want to. And I was thinking, okay, do I study everything, or do I study one main and then know the other two kind of the side? And the kind of the verdict that I came with is I'm just gonna know what I know really, really good. If you want to challenge me, if you want to go into the jungle with me, I'm going to buckle down. This is my repertoire. This is my girl. This is my family. That's the way I'm looking at the openings that I really like. And I'm going to teach them to all my students. Another thing I was thinking about was as a kid, from 1200 to 2200, I've had this set of openings. And I got really good at it. I got the nuances, but long term, it's incorrect. Long term, like if these guys play this, at some point, like if the other side does what they're supposed to do, you're just gonna be worse. So then I was like, okay, do I teach him the starter set that I got and then eventually give him the good stuff that I'm playing right now? Or do I just teach them correct chess? And I mean, I guess honestly, it depends on the student and what they like. But for the most part, the default right now is you're gonna play the good stuff. Like you're gonna play the openings that I believe in. As a win, this is gonna be really, really good practice for me. Because by teaching these guys, all these savages, all these openings, I'm going to know these openings really, really well as well. And that's, I think, really, really important. And it's basically this summer is one of my last runs at like really getting good at chess. Like oh, Bishop C5 checkmate is nasty. Um, so let me just get as good as I possibly can with this opening set. Let me learn it, let me teach it to everybody, and let me basically go like God mode with these openings. That's what I'm on right now. That's what I'm trying to do. So opening review is like there's gonna be problem sets, there's gonna be videos, there's gonna be a bunch of stuff. Um, and like I said, if I prep my students, I prep myself. If these guys can all go play these openings and try to get good with them and come back with questions, then I will get sharper. And like I think as the saying goes, like iron sharpens iron. So that's 100% what I will be trying to do over this next couple weeks. But it was something that I really thought about, and I do. I mean, as a chess player, I think about a lot of things. So I was like, do I go this way or do I go that way? And basically, I ended up going with, all right, these are my set. This is what I know. This is what I'm gonna do. So uh, now it's about committing and really getting to know it well. Um, now another thing is, man, I need time. Like even after the tournament, generally I try to take a day off. This girl did not let me take a day off. It was a full day, and then I have to basically waste the whole day. And then Monday I had to wake up early to help Remick move stuff. Tuesday, I think, is the first day I slept. No, Tuesday I had something. Because I remember I had to skip. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Tuesday I had to make up all the lessons that I missed on Sunday. So because of my sins on Sunday, I had to pay on Tuesday. Wednesday, I had to wake up early too. Thursday was the first day that I actually slept in. So generally, like after a huge event, you would kind of think like you take a day off. But when you a CEO, when you run a big business, and this is also part of the lecture that I heard, like you don't get days off, and you don't let, and if you do, you don't let people see what happens when you need a day off. Like you keep that shit tight. Is kind of the way that he was talking about it, and I was like, I kind of agree with that. Like I mean, is it the life you asked for? Is the best way to put it? Like you, I mean, you have no one. I guess I'm not gonna say you have no one to blame but yourself, but like with the great power comes great responsibility, to quote the great Uncle Ben. So, um, that being said, like this weekend, I'm 100% going to sleep with no alarm clock. As in, I'm not gonna set an alarm, just going to sleep and wake up whenever I wake up. But yeah, I mean the week before and the week and even the week after, it's legit. I wake up and I work till I sleep. And my little vacations are I can watch some basketball here and there. I go to the gym here and there. I get to train some martial arts here and there, and those are my vacations. There's no like you sit and you watch TV. Or if I'm watching TV, I have to be doing something. There's always work to do. Um, so I guess that's the life that is right now. One day, man, one day I can't wait to just like sit back and relax, to have kids, to have grandkids, and be like, I can't like honestly, I can't wait to get super fat. I can't wait to eat whatever I want, do whatever I want to do. But unfortunately, right now is not that time. Right now is the time to set up what's gonna happen next. So with that being said, like I have to have these 24-hour days, these 18-hour shifts of just man, just driving. Oh my God. Up and down Atlanta, up and down. Holy, I'm so sick of driving. I can't stress enough how much I want to not be able to drive. I'd much rather walk. I'd rather walk 2 hours than drive 45 minutes, honestly. So walk is good and I can do something like that's way better than just sitting in a car watching paint dry. Is the best way to put it. But that being said, like chess boxing, I should have a big event in New York. So on top of all of this, I'm trying to drop 5 to 10 pounds to get ready, and I have to train for chess boxing. Uh, but I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes everyone needs to fight a little bit, and I just want more free time to take the weights off, you know? It's like you have all these things to do. And like to people listening right now, like you're getting like 50% of what I actually have to do. There's another 50% where it's like, oh my God, you have all this on top too, juggling 25 different things. But it is what it is, I guess is the only way to put it. This is the life you asked for. And that's why when I deal with the idiots, the FIs, for I'm gonna say FIs a lot. So whoever wants to know what FIs are, the first word is idiots, and the last word is idiots, and the first word starts with an F, and it's not a good word. So just these people, the people that be asked, the NPCs, people asking dumb questions, people who just don't make sense, the FIs. When you're working these huge shifts, when you're working every day, and you hear these people who are like, I don't have time for this, I don't feel like this, it really that it boils my blood is the best way to put it. It's like, man, I'm working 4 or 5 lives, you're working half a life, and you're saying you're busy and you're tired. What are we doing here? Is once again, that is what I'm saying. What are we doing here? So that's my chess. But I mean, I haven't missed any days of training, and definitely chess is getting better with streaming. And I just gotta make the decision of openings, and it's basically already made. I'm committing, I'm there, and it's gonna be time to rock and roll real soon. Um, okay, so that's me for chess. Now let me talk about chess students. So the first one that I think is really, really important that needs to be said is these guys are getting winning positions. Their openings are all good. It's about not giving opponents counterplay. One really big theme that I've seen a lot of my students is they're getting weak kings, or they're getting very unstable positions where, yeah, you're winning, but you have to navigate some very choppy waters. And that can be really tough, like long term or against high rated players. Another thing that they're all learning is they've all gotten better. They've all jumped from like 11 or 12, 1,000 to 14, 1,500. So that means their opponents are better, and their opponents are not going to just resign. They're not going to just let you checkmate them. Like you have to actually beat them now. So that's been a bit of an adjustment period that I've seen with my students, and it's something that they definitely need to work on 100%. And I think the way to do that is I'm going to do a lot of positions or like problem sets or studies of winning these positions or controlling these positions, and also just playing it out. Like actually, if you can beat me, you can beat anyone that you're playing. So like these guys have to basically get good enough to beat me in winning positions. If they can do that, then there's a lot that they can do. H5 here is really strong. Um, so that's a big one. Another one is weak kings. My God. Like I said, they're getting weak kings, but also these guys are cowards. I think two or three of the guys, and actually two main ones, were like, I want to learn Sicilian. I'm so ready to learn Sicilian. I can't wait to play Sicilian." And then they play a higher rated and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't play Sicilian. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna get checkmated. Why would I play Sicilian? This is crazy." And then boom, they play French and they just lose without a chance. It's almost like comical how fast some of these guys lost after they basically chickened out. So like, yeah. So these guys like And the biggest thing that I've kind of taken away from this is if they don't make the changes, if they, like, for example, I got one guy who's just lazy, always is finding a reason not to do something. It's like again and again and again, and I'm like, look, dude, if you worked half as hard as you did being lazy, as you did at just actually doing work, you could actually be good at chess. Um, and then these are the same people that, because they're lazy, they're too scared to play the opening because they didn't actually study. They didn't actually work. Everybody thinks they're him. This is like a really good quote I heard from Cam Haines. Everybody thinks they're him. They're that dude right before the game starts. Then the game starts and they start getting to the game. They're like, oh my God, I should have done this. I should have practiced here. I should have done this. Like, the false confidence is almost a sign of false work. The like true confidence is not thinking about it, not worrying about it, and just being like, I'm good. I know I got this. Like I know what I did. I know I did this much to get to where I am. I can live at peace. I can sleep at peace. I am at peace with whatever happens. That is the confidence. The guys who are like, dude, I can't wait to win. I can't wait to buy all this. The guys who are always have plans and ideas and they're excited to do all these things. Those are the guys that probably didn't work, and they're probably going to wish that they worked harder once the game starts. So that's just from my experience, what I've seen. Um, so like I said, I am basically going to start becoming an enforcer. I don't want to do it. I don't like to do it, but I don't know what else to do. Like, if they don't do their work, and that's my only one thing, just do your work. I don't care if you win. I don't care if you lose. Just get the work done, and then we can live with we can live with whatever happens next. So to be as specific as possible, give them what to do. And here's another big thing that I'm going to do, because sometimes they do get confused, and it is a bit confusing. Like, what are they supposed to do? I make them problem sets for openings. I make them problem sets for middle game, end game. Um, and they also are kind of like unsure. Okay, do I do this? Do I do this? One kid, his computer can't open documents. It's like the first time I've ever seen someone like it opens documents, but there's no pictures. And I'm like, of course it's the laziest kid. He must have like honestly, he must have gone to some setting and been like, okay, turn off pictures or something. But of course, it's the laziest guy who has this issue. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna make them basically to-do list, flow lists of what they're supposed to do over the span of 5 to 6 weeks. And once again, I don't give too much. I really try to make sure like I'm not giving absurd amounts of work, but at the same time, like you should expect like when people are on the soccer team, they are playing soccer 2 hours every day after school. That is 10 hours of work, 10 hours of practicing. Most chess players can't do 2 hours of work. 2 hours of work is way too much for them. So like this is the point where it's like, what are we doing here? Like in soccer, you practice 10 hours a week. And like how many of these guys are actually good at soccer? They just run around, that's it. This is like I'm okay, the funniest part is like probably I'm in better shape. I'm better at soccer, I'm better at basketball than all these guys that are playing basketball. And okay, like I'm an adult. Like, okay, don't get me wrong. I guess it's not a fair fight, but like I'm not an athlete. I'm not a soccer player. I mean, soccer, I don't know. Basketball, okay, I have technique, I have skill in basketball. That's a bit more valid. But like if you were serious about chess, which is something that you have one of the best chess coaches in the world, chess coaches in the world, you have the infrastructure for it. Like I would try to make a decent push at chess because most people don't get this opportunity. They don't have a tournament, they don't have a coach, and they don't have like a group of people. So like you need to practice. Like I can't stress enough. And if you don't practice, my new move is like, all right, I'm going. Like the last thing you can do if you really care about someone, if you really want someone to get better, is basically you threaten to walk away. Like you have to be willing to walk. And this has been I guess like a very interesting experience recently. Like I don't like to do this. I don't like to be mean. I hate being mean. I hate making like girls cry. One of the worst. But it's almost and like especially kids cry. Like I have one student who always be crying if something bad happens. And once again, it's sad. I don't like it, but it's worse and it's more sad for me to let them waste their potential and just like meander, especially when I have the answer or I have I've been through this. I did this. Like I can help you or like this is what I needed when I was there. Like I'm trying to give you what could help you when you're there. Um, So yeah, the last thing that you can do is like you basically you give people 2.5 strikes, and that last half strike is like you got to make it really clear, like, all right, man, this is it. You're on strike two. I'm gonna give you half, but after this, boom, there's no more. Then I'm walking, and that's kind of been my new philosophy: 2.5 strikes, then I walk. Like, and I don't want to. Like, I don't want to give one strike. And it's almost like when you give one strike, the person immediately has to go get the second strike to see if you're serious. Then they have to go get the second half strike, and then almost out of curiosity, they're gonna get the third strike, and then they're gonna like be like beg like I want you back, like I want this, like I don't know, like and then at that point, like this next level of thinking that I've gone through is like I'll give people another chance. I will be nice if you can show me that you've changed. If I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be the same thing all over again, then no, I'm not gonna do this again. I'm not gonna give you advice. I'm not gonna just stick around and wait. Like what am I doing here? Like why am I once again, I am spoiling you. I'm spoiling this relationship. I'm spoiling my friend by just being a bad friend is a way to think about it. And once again, I keep saying I hate doing this. I don't want to do this. I don't like doing it. I'm not good at doing it either. But if I'm serious about helping people, I'm serious about my time is another thing. Like once again, I've been saying this. I don't have much free time. I am living 4 to 5 lives. So I can't just keep going in circles with these random people about, okay, you should do this. Okay, I think this is correct. Oh, I would do this. I can't keep doing that. It's just like strike two and a half, I'm gone. And if you want to talk to me again, if you want to work again, if you want me back, you got to show me something. Otherwise, I'm not going in circles again. So it has been tough, but I think that is something very important. Now another thing that's also very, it's been a problem, and it's not really a problem because they're not even getting bad positions out of the opening, but they're just not remembering the opening. And okay, it's a lot to go over, it's a lot of stuff. I really think there needs to be a way to test them, but I need to make these videos and have them watch. If these guys can watch me play, watch me kind of go through of why I did everything, at least I'm hoping that's going to get some uptake on memory. Because right now, it's a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sicilian and the way that I play, like, or you just play good chess, you got to learn a lot. And actually, like, whoa, that'd be crazy. But there's a reward waiting for you if you can learn and take the time to you kind of know it. So you definitely got to work on that. But it's also it's still the first couple months, so it's honeymoon phases. The funny thing is in chess and honeymoon phase, it's like a year after. You don't get the honeymoon phase the first 6 months. The 6 months is like the divorce, like I hate you phase. The honeymoon phase comes after that. And you're like, all right, now I know what I'm doing. Now I know what you like. Now I know what, like what is good and what is bad. But in the first couple, you don't know. Um, Now another one that's been really tough is like I have these group classes with I mean very talented, very bright kids, but not like as serious chess players. Like one of them is 1,000, one of them is definitely good. The other one is the next best is maybe 500, 600, and the other ones are have never played a tournament before. And like it is definitely a challenge to get them to play these openings and to memorize. Because for the most part, these guys are not, I can't force them to practice 3 days a week. They're not old enough. They don't have I can't just tell them what to do like I can the other students with the spreadsheets and all this kind of stuff. So like if I teach them something, it's here 1 week and gone the next week is what I've really been seeing. And like I can give them the problem sets, I can give them the worksheets, and if I don't just keep up on that, like that's everything is going. Everything is gone. So I guess my initial thought of how do I tackle this is I have to really earn their respect and I have to make them like half decent at chess. So the last 5 weeks I've been giving them these worksheets with about 6 categories. Goes line of fire, defense, in between move, trading. Uh, I give them 2 choices, and the last one is maybe it's defend with tempo or some kind of attacking. But okay, basically different categories. And now they've gotten pretty accustomed and familiar with the categories. So the next 5 weeks, I'm going to test them and quiz them on all the stuff that they went over. That way they can kind of have an idea of like, have I learned this? And if they have, and if they've learned it, by the end of this, they will be good at chess, and I can get them on the open. Basically, I'm going to try to go openings is phase two as opposed to phase one. Phase one is everyone's going to get good at chess and just learn how to play chess. And then phase two is like once they realize they've gotten better, and a lot of them have, like they're using the stuff that we go over. Like it's a clear, like they learned this and now I'm seeing them apply this. It's very, very good. So, what I'm going to do is By the end, like I would think I earned their trust. And I get this with some of these students too. They're like, I don't want to play the new opening. I don't like it. And in my head, I'm like, bro, why don't you just listen to me? Why are you fighting it? I've taught this to many people. They've been successful. It works. You know nothing. Like why? Like basically, I should just basically be the default. Whatever I say, like what's the worst that can happen if you listen? I know what I'm doing. You don't know what you don't know what you're doing. I've had multiple people work, but no, there's always some pushback on like I don't like this. I don't want this, and then this happens every time. They eventually do it, and now I have to teach them a new opening, and they do the same thing. I don't want to do this. I don't like this. It's a huge human brain condition, and I'm almost there, so maybe I'll save it for then. But like the human brain, like it gets in our way so much. And honestly, I think I'm gonna save it for there because I'm almost there. Um, but yeah, so the idea of teaching these non-transparent openings is to earn their respect, teach them a little bit, just so they, I mean, for example, if they play the French, they never get formally checkmated. So there's a lot of value in teaching these guys the French. Stonewall is a little bit more tricky. I can teach them King's Indian just to start, but then the number one goal is 100% to get them good at chess. And I've been doing this with the other group, the school that I teach too. I try to do some openings. Good luck. Good luck. But what I will say is they're actually getting better at chess, and once they see that, I think you earn their respect, and then you can start onboarding the openings. And the goal is 517. I have this big scholastic, so I need to get every single one of these guys competent enough to be ready for that scholastic. That is a huge, huge thing that I'm kind of working on. And then last but not least, the middle game and the end game. Once these something funny with the opening is I made all the problem sets and all the YouTube videos for the Stonewall so that these guys will know what they're doing. And then now all the guys who saw them get the Stonewall, they're like, we want stuff for the Sicilian. We want stuff for E4. So now these guys are all like trying to get that on top. So now I'm making all the openings. I'm hoping by the end of this weekend I can finish every opening with with white. If I can finish E4, C5, and QGD. If I can do these three by this Sunday, which is a lot of work. A lot of work, and also honestly, if I can do it by 420, that would be the number. Because I want to finish E4 this weekend. I want to finish QGD next weekend, and then I can start adding the other stuff. I think that's going to be the idea. So yeah, E4 and QGD in the next 2 weeks, and then I can really start adding stuff. Okay, so anyway, so that's it for the opening middle game. And at some point, there's going to be a finale. There's going to be, I finished it all. And I can always add more supplemental work because of the reason that I just keep streaming and making videos. And I'm sure I'll just keep adding stuff and it'll get better and better. So that's also incentive on top. Like I can just literally just after I make all the background stuff, basically just add DLCs or like add like amendments to what I have. But for the most part, everything else is going to be the same. Everything else will be cool. Everything else will be this like no sweat. So I am once again working with an end goal in mind. As long as it is going to take a while, but there is an end goal, and that I think that's going to make everything way more chill. Okay, so that's it for chess and openings. Now, lastly, let me talk about life, the human brain. So, okay, so the first thing, I read this book, The 5 Second Rule. I think I talked about it a little bit the last podcast, but essentially, the big point I would say is we have great instincts as humans, but then the longer that we take to do it, the more we just talk ourselves out of it. Like for me, one really clear example, and something that why I like this book so much, is the first example the author uses is about snoozing. And it's like, the more we talk about it, the more we think about it, we're just gonna snooze. And then also apparently REM cycles are 90 minutes. I was always wondering why do I wake up like at night, like an hour or 90 minutes later? It's because REM cycles. Like basically if I snooze, I'm gonna get another REM cycle and boom, that's another 90 minutes gone. But the back to the point is like we can trick our brains into listening if we just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go. I mean, sometimes I'll just go 3, 2, 1 and go because like by 5 seconds, I can give myself enough time to work my way out of it. Like I have a really good lawyer in my brain. It's kind of one way to think about it. And every time I need something done, that lawyer, or every time I want to wake up early, that lawyer is he unpacks the briefcase, cracks his knuckles, and he gets the job done. Like I got a real good lawyer working for the sleeping inside. Um, so the question that I was kind of bringing up that I was wanting to think about is why are our brains so weak? Why like I feel like back in the day, 80s. I don't even go more than that, the 20s, 1920s, 1850s. Like I feel like men and humans were very different. They would tackle ideas with excitement or like, all right, here we go. I'm ready to do this. I'm excited to do this. Now it seems like anything that we do, everything that we do, that our brain is always getting in the way. Like almost 100% of the time, this is happening again and again. Like the best example that I can come up with is when I first go to the gym, like one set in, two sets in, I'm like my initial thought is like I just want to go home. Let me just finish one more workout and then I'm good for today. It's never like, oh, I can't wait to do 10 or more things, or I can't wait to do this, this, and this. It's always the very opposite reaction where it's like, all right, let's just go home. All right, let's just do this. And I really noticed like this is not just working out. Like this has happened with girls. This has happened with chess. This has happened with other things. Like I just want to go home, or I just don't want to do this. And like initially, I was all about it. This is my idea. I want to do this. And now all of a sudden, I'm gonna basically be a chicken. I'm getting cold feet. Like, and that I think is literally just the human brain being the human brain is the only way to put it. It's like, I guess, I mean, the human brain's job is to protect you. And anytime you do something new, there's a level of uncertainty. And I guess this is, if you go deeper, this is kind of what addiction comes down to. This is what I guess most issues in America come down to. Like, we want to do this, but we know the stupid stuff is gonna at least give us some initial gratitude, some quick gratitude. Whereas the stuff that we don't like to do as much is going to not give us as much happiness, so we're gonna try to like hold off on it. Um, so this is something I've seen a lot with my students. I've seen a lot with myself, and I think at some point you can make the brain. I'm not gonna say your slave because it wants to be a mutual kind of win-win kind of thing. But if you tell your brain what to do, it will listen. Like I'll even say today, like okay, because I have this chess boxing exhibition, or let's even use the word fight, I have to run 30 minutes every day. And right now it's not an option. Before it is an option. I can run, I cannot run, I can just do 50 minutes and call it a day. But now it's like, all right, if I'm going to be fighting in front of people, if I'm going to be doing this, like I can't take the chance that I'm bad. I have to take this seriously. I have to run. And I think anytime you start making things, I have to do this, there is no option. You will just do it, is kind of what I've seen. Um, and I think people in America need to do this a lot more. People need to tell themselves, I have to do this. Like, there's been a couple examples over these last couple of weeks where people come to me with an idea, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's do the idea, whatever, I'm down. And then after we get there, and generally it's always funny, like I'm always doing really well. Like, let's even say poker, for example. I didn't want to play poker. I played poker because my friend wanted to play poker. And then 5 to 10 minutes in, she's like, I don't want to play anymore. I'm going home. And like, I did this for you. I will say, in a different country, my friends wanted to throw a party, and they wanted me to go wingman and try to talk and try to find a bunch of people for the party. And I did that. And then after we got all the numbers, they're like, all right, we don't want to party anymore. It's like the more people think about it, the more people find reasons or ways to get out of it, and they just don't want to do it. They're just like, I just want to go home. Like, I'm done. This is too much. I'm done. There was like a really, I don't know, it's kind of X-rated, I'll say, but there was a time in Italy where I was with a girl, and like, basically, I was like, I'm tired. I was doing this to myself. Like, she was like, I want to do this. Let's do this. Let's blah blah blah. Okay, and then all of a sudden, I was like, dude. Just do it. Like you want to do this. Why are you convincing yourself that you don't? Your brain is weak. And then boom, you get this like it's the first time you stand up to a bully, you get this huge surge of dopamine. This is like the first time you stand up to your body. Your body's like, whoa. It's almost like the first time maybe you stand up for yourself against your wife or your girlfriend, or the first time you decide to actually go to the gym. Like you surprise yourself. You're like, whoa, I can do this? Like I had this in me the whole time. And the answer is yes, you do have it in you. But this voice, at least for now, does not go away. This voice of like, ah, just don't do this, just wait till tomorrow. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I thought like every single time I wake up early, every time I go to the gym to this day, I still want to just be like, I'm just gonna go sleep some more. I don't want to do anything. Like, just snooze, just go home, just run one less lap. But when you start making it, I have to do this. Like, I don't have a choice. That's when we actually start seeing growth. And honestly, that's when you start trusting yourself more. You build confidence. The more you see yourself do what you're supposed to do, the better person you will become long term. And it goes the other way. The more you just let people tell you what to do, the more you just listen to whatever people say, the more you just accept bottom position is another way to put it, the more your mind will just get weaker and weaker. Your body will just honestly, it most likely will look weaker and weaker, softer and softer. There are a lot of men walking around here with these soft gelatinous bodies, just these amoebas, these globs of whatever. And then I mean, there's a lot more there. Basically, I had two friends staying at my place the last 2 weeks, and there was this is the case. It's like no, nothing was their fault. They didn't want to do anything. They don't want to study. They don't want to go out. They want to eat and they want to talk in circles. Again and again and again. Eat and talk. Eat and talk. Do nothing. Don't talk to no girls. Don't go out. Don't try to go have fun. I mean, don't even go to the club when everyone's at the club. Like, so what are we doing here? Is where I say, what are we doing here? Now, let me give you guys some examples of what are we doing here. The first one, martial arts. So I'm doing jujitsu. So I do jujitsu and then I do Muay Thai. In jujitsu, you don't hit people. You're not supposed to elbow anyone. You're not supposed to knee someone in the face. In jujitsu, first of all, I am a white belt. I am the worser of the two. Like, I know you're better than me, tough guy. Like, whatever. I'm here to learn. I'm here to get better. It is what it is. And on top of me getting mauled and these guys being better, like, I get elbowed twice, I get kneed once. And it's the worst part is there's not even an apology. There's no like, oh my bad, dude. I'm like, excuse me, like, what are we doing here? Like, at some point I have to say something. Look at me like I'm the asshole. I'm like, bro, you elbowed me in jujitsu. Like, there should be a level of I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to do this. But then it gets better. Then after jujitsu, I go to Muay Thai, and in Muay Thai, I'm gonna call him like stupid black guy, stupid big black guy, SBBC, big black guys, SBBG, stupid big black guy, yeah, BBG, stupid big black guy. I keep saying this. Um, we're doing Muay Thai. Muay Thai is striking. I'm like, and then I preface this, quick, dude's big black guy, small. And okay, just to preface this a bit more, right before this, I spar another big black guy, and it's super chill. There's no problem. We keep it light. We're not trying to kill each other. And after he was like, hey man, like, you ever want to spar? Like, I'm down. And I'm like, bro, me too. That was so good. That was healthy. Like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And then I come up with SBBG. Now, SBBG, I tell him because I can tell, I can see it in his eyes. Dude's cocky. He's got his chin up in the air. Came into class. He was arguing with the teacher about some stupid shit. So SBBG, we're sparring. I'm like, all right, we're going light, and then he takes me down, and I'm like, and he's laying on me, and I'm like, bro. One, I said let's take it light. Two, this is Muay Thai. There is no ground game. And then I say this out loud, and he just does what SBBG does. Blah, 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 blah. Ground. I think he legit said, "Do you want to go to the ground?" And I'm just like, I literally say out loud, "What are we doing here?" I roll out of him on top, and I just walk away. And he's like, "I don't get it." Then they hit you with this stupid, "I don't get it." Like, are you retarded? Is what I want to ask these guys. Like, do you think? Do you have a brain? Because right now, I don't think you have a brain. This is like the conversations that I want to have with these guys. Instead, I'm just like, all right, whatever, man. I'm done. Whatever. Like, go have fun. Um, so good training partners is really, really important. Yeah, like for me, what's really important is I want to train. I don't want to get hurt, and I want to still have the ability to train. And if these guys are jumping on you, hitting you while you're grappling, and grappling you while you're striking, like this is how I get hurt. This is not the goal of this. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to learn. And clearly you're retarded. Those are my takeaways that I always have with these guys. And you just gotta filter. And this is another big thing. I'm gonna talk about this too. Girls, man. I've been a lot of girls this week. I mean, dude, left and right, man. Like really coming out of nowhere is the best way to put it. Every day it's another one. It goes and more and more. And you get to this level where like I don't even know what to do next. But anyway, I'm having this conversation with this lovely young lady, and she's like, "Men suck." And I'm like, "All right, cool, I get it. Men do suck. Men are the worst." Right, totally, like totally. But then she's like, "No, men don't just suck. Women are better than men." And I'm like, like, first of all, I'm gonna be polite and just not say anything. Like, if we're talking, I mean, the whole argument is, well, without women, there would be no human race. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but my argument is, can we just fight for equality? Can't we just treat everyone equal? And then this is a big like, no, I don't think so. Like, you're sexist. And I'm like, all right. I mean, once again, what are we doing here? I'm trying to fight for equality where you treat everyone good. And they're saying that men suck and women are better. And then men are saying women suck and men are better. And basically, my consensus is y'all both suck. If you're having this conversation, it probably means you're not doing anything with your life. And that has been really, really self-evident so far. People who care about all these stupid little things, y'all got too much free time if this is what you're caring about, is really my soapbox right now. Like, improve yourself. Like, also these girls, are there any girls that have a bank account? Seems like all the girls that I know do not have a bank account. They're all, it's that's also adorable. At some point they'll be like, nah, I'm gonna pay. Don't worry, I got this. And then they get cold feet and they're like, oh no, no, I can't. No, please, can you get cover this? I'm like I'm not, what am I, a professional babysitter? Like that's what it feels like. Like, and then these are the same girls making demands and being like, women need to make more money, blah blah blah. How about you make something at all? Like making money is great, but also like having a job is nice. That's a good place to start for having making money. Not spending money. I mean, one fair point is it's very expensive being a woman. Like their nails are like $100, and their clothes are like $100, their shoes are $100, but yet they still go to Whole Foods and spend the extra money. That's the hilarious part. Y'all be complaining about money all the time, and y'all shop at the most bougie, expensive places. Like, what are we doing here? The math don't add up, is the best way I can put it. It don't math. Now, someone help me math and figure out what's going on here, is what I'm trying to say. But apparently that's impossible these days because I'm dealing with FIs. Just FI after FI after FI. People in America, yeah, I mean, guys, man, everyone turning lazy and ain't doing nothing is the best way to put it. It's really unfortunate. Um, but again and again, oh my God, today I was listening to some guy talk about politics. I'm so done. Like, I'll tell you right now, I'm so done with politics. It's idiot versus idiot. Everything that comes down to politics is idiot versus idiot. It's never one guy that making sense who's like, oh, I like this guy's opinion. Like this guy's a smart guy. Actually, you know what? Dave Smith feels like a smart guy. He seems like he knows what he's doing. That's literally what I thought. I thought that was my one thought today in a long time. But the other guys saying random bullshit after random bullshit. And it's like it gets to the point where everyone's just looking around like, I mean, bro, you gonna tell him? Or like, nah, bro, you gonna tell him? Like, what are we doing here again and again is been a thing. And I don't know. It's just like everyone stay in the lane. I mean, here's another thing. Most people don't even know what the truth is, and they want to say something. If you don't even know the truth, like, what are you saying? Why do you believe this? Everybody's lying. Nobody knows what they're doing. The older I get, that's more the kind of take that I have. Like, government is great, but for the most part, figure it out yourself. Learn what you need to do, learn what you need to know yourself. No one's gonna come help you. Especially as men, nobody gonna save you. As women, there'll always be some idiot that'll listen. There'll always be some idiot willing to pay. That is a fact of life. When they like women will always have a plan B. But men, ain't nobody coming to save a man. You gotta figure out yourself, and if you don't, you're a loser. And it kind of sounds hard, but it's also kind of a blessing too. Nobody's there to spoil us. Nobody's there to explain our mistakes. No one cares. So if you don't figure it out yourself, well then you got nothing. So like it's a blessing and a curse, but end of the day, I think it's better being a man than being a woman. I would if I could do it again, I'd be a man for sure. And I understand, and honestly, don't get me wrong, I love girls. Probably love girls too much in a sense. Um, but I guess is very important. Like balance, quality, treat everyone good, but work freaking hard and do it yourself. If you can get people to help you, do it. If you can filter out the idiots, please do it. Filtering out the idiots is how you save years on your life. As I'm getting older, as I'm getting wiser, that's probably one of the most underrated things in life. Filter out the people who are going to waste your time and make your life worse. And they're going to come with smiles, they're going to come with good intentions a lot of times too. But some of the worst things on earth have been done with good intentions. And you need to like be objective. And honestly, this is something that betting has really, I would say, just gotten me better and more aware of. You got to know who's going to let you down. There are certain people, there are certain teams, there are certain situations where it's just this is too much for this person to handle, too much for whatever that can do, and you have to accept that some people can't do this. Some people are built different is the best way to put it. Some people were not made for this kind of life, and the sooner that you can figure out who's made for who, the better of a CEO, the better of a person, and the more free time you're gonna have. um, Now I'm going to end this with a couple good things. Like the first one is gradually improving workouts. So 3 weeks ago when I first worked out, I would do like I think I had Monday, Wednesday, Friday was a different upper body. Tuesday, Thursday was legs, and I would do like a workout here, a workout there, and then boom, like all right, I'm done. And then I think I ran 12 minutes the first weeks. The second week, I started adding at least 3 exercises per body part. So if I'm doing upper body, okay, I have to do 3 different things for my chest, 3 different things for this. Then I kind of came to the realization that if I'm only benching like once a week or something, that's not enough to actually get better or to improve. So now it's like, all right, I'm gonna do upper body. I'm gonna do like chest, shoulder, and chest, shoulder. I mean like triceps. Wait, what? Upper body is that it? Am I tripping right now? It's just chest and shoulder and chest, shoulder, and arms. Sorry, chest, shoulder, arms for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday is legs plus back. Because just legs, you can add back too. Um, and then now I'm up to running 30 minutes a week. In sauna, I started I think at 10 minutes. I started at 10 or 7 minutes. Then I went to 12 minutes. Now I'm doing 15 minutes. And if I can, I'll try to do 50 minutes straight. For cold showers, I started with like 5 seconds, got to 30 seconds. Now I'm doing 45 seconds in the cold pretty much every day. It's always the middle shower too. So it's always the late shower that I do cold. Um, and that's how you get better and better. You got to start somewhere. And okay, you're gonna miss some days. That's just gonna happen. You're not gonna have a perfect every single day, but whenever you can, and if you can, tell yourself, I have to do this. If you have to do this, you're gonna give yourself a significant fighting chance. But if you don't, it's a very good chance that you're gonna find a way to tell your brain that I don't want to do this. I'm not ready. It's not what I want, you know? Uh, um, so that's workouts, martial arts. Also eating. Eating has been a big, big change. Like now, I'm literally eating fish and veggies every single day. That's it. I think Saturday I'll probably eat something decent, some carbs, but no more carbs. Okay, it's maybe not a complete truth. Um, no more rice, no more parotas. So when I first started working out, rice, McDonald's, let's go. Second week, cut out the rice, just parotas and side dish, like some chicken, some vegetables. Now it's no more carbs. Except tomorrow I have a very, very big day where I'm doing like cardio, 3 classes, sauna, like a lot. So if I need carbs, then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna eat potatoes. I'm just gonna make potatoes instead of having like rice or something heavy. It's just potatoes be my carb source for the day. So that's what I'm doing in that regard, for eating. But yeah, like as you can see, if you slowly improve and you slowly find things that make you better and better and better, like you just get better. That's the best way to put it. And that's exactly what we're trying to go for, is what I think I'm trying to say. Like just slowly improve, work on one thing a week, and life will get better and better. And now I can finally close the podcast. So the way I wanted to close it is I think it was Sunday. I was like all depressed. Yeah, Sunday was a really depressing day. Uh had to that's basically the way to put it is I had to sacrifice the queen because it was not good. But anyway, Sunday was all depressed. I'm just scrolling YouTube, like, all right, I need to find a video. Like, what do I do? And I come across this Matthew McConaughey video about his early start in Hollywood and how everything was going. And there's like a really, really good point that I want to take away, and I want to end this podcast with. The point was like early in his career, Matthew McConaughey, I think he was sleeping on one of the director's couch. He was like trying to figure it out, and the director was like, Matthew, you know what your problem is? You need it too much. Like it's so obvious that this you need this so bad, and that's why you're not gonna get it. And what he told him was do is he said go to Europe, rent some motorcycles, some homies, and just go live life. Just go enjoy life. And when you come back, you'll know what you need to do. And he did that, and that's when he kind of broke out. And I think this is really evident with chess, with girls, with betting, with all the kind of the major topics for guys, and I'm sure for girls, for guys, guys, I don't know, kids. When you need it too bad, like people can smell it on you. It's like life can smell it on you is the best way to put it. And you never get what you need. You get sometimes you're given what you need, but really what you want is I want what I want. Like if I want this, I'm gonna get it. Not my whole happiness depends on this. And just how Matthew McConaughey went, he figured out life. Like if you want to be really good at chess, you can't need it. Of course, you have to want it, but at the same point, like you need to just focus on I enjoy this. I like other things. Like I'm just a happy person, not like okay, my whole happiness depends on if I get chess or not. Like I'm sure, like what's funny with Magnus? Magnus used to get taught by Kasparov, and he told Kasparov, "You give too much homework. Like I don't want to practice with you anymore." Um, that's a man who doesn't need it. A man who needs it, well, yes, sir, whatever you need, sir. Like I got you. But like the level of sometimes being a little diva, sometimes being like, "Well, I want this, and I'm gonna get this." Like you get what you want, kind of instead of being like too submissive and happy. And it seems like a lot of people in America, a lot of people they're just unhappy. Another thing I've kind of noticed is like people who are underachieving always hate people who are overachieving. Like I get all these people about how Elon Musk is terrible, Donald Trump is terrible. They're all gonna run the country to the ground. But at least they're trying, is what I'm trying to say. And it's like even if you don't like them, at least just get on board and let's try to make something happen here. Like this is America. We need to work together. Like if we just keep fighting each other, it's not gonna make things better. My goal is like how do we make this better? How do we work together? And how do we actually become better people altogether? Um, so I guess work hard, know what you want. Know what you want is another really big one. And honestly, the last one that I think is just really important is, dude, filter out the FIs, filter out the idiots, because you'll just save yourself so much time and effort. And like another thing, and honestly, I'm gonna close on this because I've been going for a while, but like being with people who don't match your morals, who don't match your interests, who don't match your personality, like they can be cool, but there's gonna be tension at some point. At some point, you're gonna be like, well, I want to do this, and you always don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to be, I don't want to hang out with you then if you're not gonna try to do the things. And like, especially me, like I get tired of having to sacrifice. It seems like of most people, like I am the one being the bigger person and be like, fine, I will take the hit. I will take the hit. Because it's always like I can do both things. Let's say that. I want to do X and the other person wants to do Y. I am flexible enough where I can do X, Y, Z, whatever. I have a very wide range of people that I can hang out with, a very wide range of activities I can do. Whereas a lot of people, wow, that was a sick move. But a lot of people that at least I hang out with, they don't have this quote unquote wide range. They can't do one thing and they can basically sit and eat. Everyone can sit and eat, and that's what everyone ends up doing. Like even my parents are coming to New York. And I'm honestly like kind of annoyed because like they're just gonna want to sit and eat. I know these people. I know what they do. I know what they want to do. They want to sit and eat and they want to do nothing. And like, I mean, if it's not obvious at this point, I don't know what is. I live my life at a very fast pace. I need stimulation. I need to do something. Like it's not very easy for me to just sit and be bored and do nothing. Like I'll lose my mind. I need to keep moving. And it's funny, like I got this from my mother. My mom is like she is literally the definition of a hurricane. She will start moving and not stop moving. She will always keep moving. And now I have to like explain to myself why I'm like my mom to my mom. Like, isn't that something ironic right there? So anyway, guys, I know I've been going on again for a sec now, but what are we doing here? Episode 54 is in the books. Great tournament, a lot of big things on the horizon. And then, man, when summer starts from May 26th on, it's tournament, 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 tournament. I might actually have a tournament literally every week. So right now it's make as much money as possible, get ready, and winter and a storm is coming, and I'm here for it. I'm excited. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you guys are entertained, and hope you guys enjoyed another great episode of the Master of One podcast. Peace.